I'm Marinus Astra of Song and of Story, and today I'll be your host and game master, Lady Astra. With me are my 3 players for tonight's Fate Core game. We have Donnie playing the great Atlas Blade Grave Soleil, which is actually Grave Soul, but I mispronounced it on purpose because they hate me for it. Yay!
Fuck you! Wait, can I say that?
Yo!
Heck you!
We also have the Mighty Merc playing Archie, aka Archibald, what's your full name? Ernesto Watts. There we go. Our favorite bombastic fancy
Ernesto Watts. My boy.
Yeah. And last but not least, we also have Winty playing Valentina DeFleur, the shy and probably gonna get traumatized very soon character. Just by the pattern of things and practice sessions we've done in the past, if anyone's gonna get traumatized, we know who it is.
There's equal opportunity trauma here.
Not all trauma is created equal, I'm sorry. I am ruthless. I have no mercy. I am a monster sent from the depths of the void.
We see that.
Oh no.
Clearly.
Where we last left our plucky new students, these beginners at Arcana High, the second tier of schooling in their educational career, effectively, which is kind of the equivalent to the 6th grade in the U.S. structure of education system, but like it counts as high school. It's its own thing. It's like a 9-year school thingamajig that. It's kind of because the number 9 is super important. You can see right here in our logo. Hey, look at that. 9 elements.
Look at it. It's beautiful.
I wonder if that's going to be a continuous pattern.
Huh.
It's almost like this is meticulously planned in advance. Yeah, so they're starting their first year. In our last couple sessions that, for most of you, probably showed in the form of 1 to 2 episodes worth. Our lovely, not heroes, they're not necessarily doing anything heroic. I guess students. They're all students. That's their kind of role in this story. Our magi. That's the word we're looking for. It was on the tip of my tongue. Our magi were getting ready for school, getting their arcane focuses and their uniforms, all that jazz. Some of them got to meet each other. They also got to meet a few NPCs, including the loathed but kind of loved John Rear. We have not in character, but like out of character. Come on, he's fun. He causes chaos.
I don't think his mom loves him. I think she named him that. Oh my god.
No, you should see. I literally have puns for his whole family. Every single member of his family is named like that.
His whole fucking...
Yeah, his whole family. His name is synonymous with Jackass. I think his one of his family members is synonymous with Kick-Ass, and another one is synonymous with Kiss-Ass.
Yeah.
Like, it's his whole family. They're just all
That's
like
so
that.
weird.
We have Iris Fields, who we all love and adore, the wholesome scientist girl in the lab coat that's too big for her. And you guys also met somebody you don't know the name of. I have them written down here, but just ignore the fact that it says their name. You know them so far as Strange Magnet Girl. The girl with the magnets that caused a lot of chaos in the Tragic Trinkets shop that you all kind of congregated to at the end of your mighty shopping trip across Woe's End, the town in this one of the moon's biodomes for Magic Society. Shortly after those incidents at Tragic Trinkets, you actually part ways, reunite with your families, especially you, Winty, who was already traveling with your family at the time. Right, you meet up with the rest of the DeFleurs, and you all go to that homely little inn they rented out somewhere in the city, and you get a good night's rest. They take you out to dinner somewhere, probably. How does Valentina sleep? Do they have a good night's sleep? Are they restless? Are they nervous? What's it like, Winnie?
I think that she was a little fidgety. I think she had her little stuffed animal and she was hugging it and she's like, I'm gonna do this.
When I do this, I'm just like giving herself those like affirmations. I feel like that's something she'd do.
What's her stuffed animal that she carries around with her and is brought to school with her?
It's like a little bird, like a little duck.
Aw, that's cute.
Little duck.
Suddenly I'm having flashbacks to playing Duck Life.
Oh my gosh, Duck Life. The duck is just named Little Guy.
That's their name?
Little Guy.
Like capital G Guy. I love characters who are just named Guy. Guy is a underrated character name.
Little Guy.
Although obviously the best version of that was the Guy from Spy Kids 3.
I thought you were gonna say Guy Fieri.
No. No, the Guy from Spy Kids 3, played by Elijah Woods. The great. The wonderful. Atlas, that's who I was looking for. Name. Up there in the top left of my screen. You eventually meander your way back to where the family carriage is waiting to pick you up in town, because the family estate is actually outside of town, quite a distance. So you eventually work your way over there. You know, it's getting late. You gotta return to where they've been waiting for you this entire time. They have not left. There is a gothic black carriage where the main actual carriage part is shaped like a very squat coffin with like red velvet interiors, and right near the top it has like a almost like a fancy metal fencing around like the sides that make the top really special, and they would be able to like actually put a real coffin on top of it and carry it around. Like, this is the carriage version of a hearse, and it looks like a coffin. It's just over the top, slightly a bit gaudy, but like it's such fancy make that it somehow still comes out as really cool and expensive, and it shouldn't. And it is being pulled by two animated skeletal horses with magic flowing between their bones. There is an automaton, the family automaton, kind of just waiting in the carriage seat for you to return and give it instructions. They have a name. Hold on. Let me pull up my notes right here. This is one of the two groundskeepers from your family estate. This is also the family's coach driver. They are an automaton that was once made of the body parts of a family member. It's not really that family member anymore, and they don't really have much of a personality. They're not undead, right? It's not like they've been turned into some sort of undead abomination. They've literally just been recycled into a construct. So it has elements of their personality, but no soul, right? And their name is Gaius Patchenstein Earthborn, but the family calls them Patch.
Aww.
It's Uncle Patch.
Yeah. Your dead relative from probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
Yeah. I'm gonna have... I'll probably pet the skeleton horses a little bit before I hop in the coat.
Do they have names?
Yeah. Probably. They probably have like actual real fancy gaudy names, but Atlas probably calls them Scratch and Sniff for funny reasons.
I love that.
Oh.
Alright, I'm gonna add that to my notes. Scratch and Sniff. Yeah, they don't have a lot of personality, just like your dead ancestor who's been turned into an automaton. These are repurposed. These are repurposed parts of horses that vaguely resemble the function and appearance of horses, but are in no way alive or conscious. Like, they are similarly enchanted constructs. And you know that this entire vehicle is called the Nightingale, and it has a notorious presence wherever it kind of shows up. So you can see a lot of people watching you as you approach. This is the kind of like, you're not allowed to have a private life kind of moment as you approach it to get a ride home. All eyes are unfortunately on you. How do you feel about that?
Atlas is just like pulls the hood over his head, embarrassed, like as he slips in, says hi to Uncle Patch, and asks to be taken home.
You walk past everybody holding your new light up Skechers.
No, he's wearing them. He's wearing them like he like wheelies over to the carriage.
Oh yeah, it's like a slow-mo like show-off dance routine on your way to. You board the carriage. You give him instructions and a greeting. He responds in grunts. He's just, and then he kind of grips the reins, and the carriage begins to move. And the best part is it then begins to float, ever so gradually, lifting off the cobblestone pavement. And even though it's raining outside, it doesn't care. It doesn't hinder this vehicle's ability to kind of just glide through it. This, like, unearthly ghost sleigh, effectively, with these nightmare horses. And they bring you distantly, outside of town, to the imposing Gothic estate that is Gravesoul Manor, way larger than it needs to be, with all its side houses for its various servants, its large gardens. From the aerial view, you can see the giant tree in the backyard, in the middle of those gardens, that's full of, like, hedges and all sorts of kind of, like, garden paths with pavement and, like, the little stones and fountains and all that. You know that tree is very symbolically important to your family. And it is in distance of you the entire time as you crest into the estate, and the carriage rolls up towards what is effectively like the stables for this carriage, right? It's version of a garage.
It's just part of the family graveyard.
Yeah, and then you're here, and your parents are not here to greet you, as they usually aren't.
Ever.
Looking around the estate, actually, as you kind of, like, return for whatever dinner you might need or whatever last-minute packing you need before the next day, you eventually do stumble across a note they left behind. They're just out of town for a while. They had some business to take care of.
They don't want to send them all?
Nah, they wished you good luck. They got a very important lead on a new artifact they want to track down. So they've gone on a grand expedition to Jupiter. They'll be back in a few weeks.
I read the note, but like I'm a big boy. Big boys don't cry, Real talk.
That's on. In fact, that's on your character sheet. Big boys don't cry.
Exactly, because he's just such a G like that. He doesn't let it get to him. He gets his little dinner, right? Whatever it happens to be lying around the house. It's probably exorbitant. This is the type of kid to throw caviar on like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So after eating that shit, he just heads off to bed.
Yeah. When you finish your food and you're getting ready to, like, wind down for the night, you notice that the note actually came with a package you didn't even kind of pay attention to the first time because you were just so used to a note. All right, whatever. I'm gonna do my own thing. As you're walking back through the room, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Hey, there's a thing here. And there's a long package, gift wrapped in black wrapping paper with golden accents and a little golden bow on top. That seems to be their, like, departing gift for you.
That cheer up a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, package.
What do you do?
I'm like, package. I'll open it, of course. I'm not gonna just let it sit there.
It's a bomb! Boom! You're dead! No.
Oh, fuck! There's Evan of Atlas. He really is a grave soul now.
Well, here's the very important question. What is Atlas hoping it'll be? Because I already know what it is, and I think it would be very funny.
He's hoping he's like thinking in his
This
head.
is like a long. It's a very thin. It doesn't have a lot of width, but it's a very long package, about almost like the size of you.
He's like praying, hoping, right, that it's some fucking it's the fucking what do you use in Skyball?
The new like a new broomstick.
Yeah, he's hoping it's the new broomstick. He's been bugging.
Yeah.
What do you want,
You're like, oh my god, they bought me the new model. Yeah. You open up super excited because it looks like a container for a broom. You're like, okay, it might be a little small for my size, right, for a broom, but like a broom, right? I'll have like the coolest broom. This is gonna be great. And you open it up, and there is a long, fancy basket-handled rapier, where the blade itself is this long black metal. In fact, most of the metal on this is black with golden accents here and there, including the safety tip at the end of the rapier. This isn't an actual fighting rapier. This is meant for like competitive fencing, where you're not trying to kill each other, but it's like meant for the sport, right? This is a fencing saber, effectively. But they've made it in the style of a like fighting rapier, even though that's not actually what this is. So it's like a weird cross between with the weapons you've seen your family use for like more violent sword fighting and the safer school condoned saber fighting, so that you could still have the usual from your family's perspective, because they think that's something you should care about. Whether or not it's something you actually care about is completely up to you.
You can just see all the joy and excitement drain out of my face.
What?
I just sort of like toss the rapier in the corner somewhere near the rest of the stuff that I've packed.
Do you even bring it with you?
Like Atlas is obviously gonna bring it with him because his parents would realize that, and the only thing he fears worst in life is disappointing his parents, of course. So he's gonna take it. He's just not gonna be happy about it.
Yeah, it's so their style. It doesn't match any of your new aesthetic stuff, right? It's like, really?
New light up Skechers.
Yeah. I mean, swords are cool, but you're not allowed to use a sword in Skyball.
Exactly. That's cheating. I tried. I know.
You finish packing, you get off to bed, excited for potentially future Skyball auditions and tryouts in the new school year. But Archie.
What would I be saying?
You don't have a family in the area. You also don't have money. What would you like to do for the night? What does Archie's night look like?
Is he able to stay at a dorm or something?
You spent your money, so what do you do for the night?
Nah, come on. Archie has like some rent, a little bit of money. Come on.
No, I'm joking. I didn't know we had to pay for it. I wouldn't have spent my money if I had known that he needed a place to sleep.
Come on.
Oh my god.
No, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
Homie just trash can with the newspaper over it as a blanket.
But damn. No, you have so few money left on you though that you have like that one dingy inn in town that still has rooms left. It's not a pleasant stay. It's kind of leaking from the ceiling a bit with all the rain. You hear the thunder so loud the entire night. It doesn't dampen the sounds of the weather outside at all.
That's fine. The only thing I wanted to ask from you was like, do I need to continue paying money to this inn, or am I okay for now?
You effectively like the rest of your scraps was to get one night here at this hotel, basically.
So he's homeless.
You're in a motel. You're in some sort of Victorian motel.
It's like he's like, this is the nicest place I ever stayed in, and he's like, wow.
Oh yeah, doesn't Archie usually live out of a garage?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is actually a step up then a little bit.
He's like, wow, this is so fancy, and he looks at the leak in the ceiling. I can even drink from the ceiling, and he like opens his mouth and drinks.
No, Archie, no!
He's gonna get.
Archie, why? Archie is like every little kid that you have to be like, no, drop it, put it down.
If there's anything in the room that he could possibly take apart, he will. Also, he doesn't sleep.
Like,
He
you just
stays up.
you leave in the morning, and when they go to clean out your room, like, the bed is just disassembled. Like, you've neatly sorted it back into its original IKEA parts. Like,
He's kind of in this room, and he's gonna stay up, and he's gonna fantasize about the next day, like, oh my gosh, I get to go to school, I'm so excited. He can't sleep, he can't contain himself.
It's that part in a movie where the kid gets under the blankets with a flashlight and is rummaging through the book with all the secret diagrams that is going to be the plot MacGuffin of the movie.
Can I move the circuit board?
Yeah, you don't understand it entirely. There's parts of it that are clearly, like, there's magic to it. But you kind of start experimenting a bit, trying to see if you can, like, figure it out on your own without teaching. Give me a lore roll. Give me a lore roll. To see if you're able to assemble any of these configurations.
Also, after this, he wants to write a letter to his uncle.
To let him know, or you, like, start writing one for you to send out about, like, the fact that you made it safely and what the school's like.
Yeah. So I'm making a lore roll.
Yep. Roll for me.
Roll.
All right. You're able to at least get some of it. You kind of understand the engineering side a little bit. Again, that is your stronger suit. Were this crafts, you would have had +3 to that. So you understand that part. The basic circuitry and mechanics, you're all on board with, but you're not able to figure out how do you do the magical elements that it requires. Like, some parts, in order to add them to your effective circuit board that you're creating, require you to know certain transmutation spells to basically mold things together, or you switch the state that a thing is in, and you don't have that. And there's also stuff you don't understand why it works, where you can you follow the instructions and it does the thing, but you have no idea why. You're not able to figure out or learn anything from it, unfortunately. Like, every now and then it's like, use this crystal as a battery source, and you're like, how the hell does that work? And it's like, well, we're not going to tell you. We just give you instructions on how to build it, and you're like, great, thanks. And you're unfortunately unable to figure anything about that out, and also you have no idea how the magnet trick was done.
I can't remember. What was the uncle's name again? I'm just going to write it.
I don't think it actually came up. I have only names of the DeFleur family. I don't have names for your family.
Name should be... Oh.
I mean, it's something Watts.
Bruno
Watts.
What?
So, he's going to write a letter to Bruno, like, Uncle Bruno, I stayed at this really fancy place, and there was even water coming down from the ceiling. It was awesome. You would have liked it. Love, Archie, and this, like, with his, like, scribbled backward.
Yeah. How many words does Archie misspell? This is very important for characterization, even though he's 11. Does he misspell any words?
He misspells every word.
Every single word?
His uncle's name?
No, not his uncle's name. That's the only thing he can spell correctly.
How does he misspell the word uncle, though?
No, he doesn't misspell uncle.
Okay, so uncle's like the one word he knows. Wonderful, splendid.
You should, Merc, this is a slightly, like, out of game thing. You should have, like, as time progresses, just, like, have, like, a doc full of all of Archie's letters to Uncle Bruno. I think that'd be cool.
That would be really awesome. So you write your letter, you stay up all night until you begin to see the sun shining through the somewhat boarded windows that were not well boarded. There's a lot of cracks in them that the light is able to slip through. They're a bit bent up out of shape. They're just old. They need to be replaced. Possibly water damaged. And so the light wakes you up. And eventually the lot of you make your way, only one of you accompanied by family, who politely say their goodbyes, wish you their best luck, tell you to write to them all the time, etc., 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 Valentina. And then they will leave you in the gathering spot where all the kids are ready to head up to the classroom. And they're going to go in and they're going to continue enjoying the town for the rest of the day. Unfortunately, though, it is a rainy day. The same storm that was present at night seems to have lingered into the day, the morning here. It is dark and stormy. It is wet and gloomy. And you guys have kind of arrived at this point. It's like midday, right? So it's been on and off rain all morning. It's been one of those horrid, like, it was momentarily not raining, but it was so humid and all the bugs were out type morning.
That's the worst.
And now it's like the middle of the day. Should be the brightest, and it feels like it's nighttime. And you still have a long travel up the mountain of this region to the school that sits on top of it. And you see some familiar faces in the crowd. You see each other. You also see a girl in a big lab coat that one of you is familiar with. Actually, I think a couple of you might have met her. I think she was at Tragic Trinkets briefly. You see Magnet Girl is hanging out here. They got headphones on again. They got a hood up over the headphones to kind of keep them safe from the water, and they are just crouched under the briefest bit of like nearby shelter from the rain. John Rear, in typical John Rear fashion, is basically roughhousing through the mud with the other students. They're just running through the rain. They don't care if they get wet. So him and his gang are just messing around in this effective park on the edge of the forest that is here, which you guys know to be or some of you know to be known as the Shockwoods. Yeah, so you guys all kind of gather here. It doesn't seem like there's any like adult or other supervisor quite yet. It seems like just everybody's getting ready, and there's clearly a place for everyone to put their furniture. You don't see whoever's supposed to be watching this place. You don't have current like line of sight on them. You imagine they're here around here somewhere, but you don't know where they hopped off to at the current moment. Do any of you do anything as you wait? In this rain and muck, how do you all arrive? Do you arrive with anything fancy? Obviously, the carriage will bring and drop off Atlas.
Yeah. He says goodbye to all his little guys. Uncle Patch, respect, rest in peace.
Yeah.
He just sort of slinks off into the multitude of other kids. He goes and briefly says hi to Valentina and Archie because they all hung out and threw sticky hands at each other. So that means they're basically besties now.
Exactly.
So you just immediately maneuver through the crowd and are like, screw all these kids. Hey guys.
Hello, hi.
It's like seeing the one familiar face at a family gathering.
So true. But, John Rear and the dudes hanging out, they're clearly in a group of dudes doing dude things. Atlas wants to be a part of that. That looks very fun. But he also is wearing the brand new lemon pepper steppers,
Yeah.
He doesn't want to wreck his new shoes in the mud.
Are you lightly gliding over the ground the entire way so your shoes never get wet?
Yeah, exactly.
Like every other step you have to step down on the ground just because of the way they work, but like every other step you hop back into the air just to get them slightly less dirty.
Yeah, because these are the lemon pepper steppers. You can't get them dirty.
Yeah.
Let's get the 1-2 buckle my shoes on.
So
y'all know what I'm talking about.
3, 4.
Valentina, you have a umbrella you were given by your family that has like floral patterns when it fans out on the top. It looks like when you open it up, it looks like a giant mushroom cap with like little flowers that pop off the mushroom.
That's cute.
And so you're kind of hanging around under that when you are approached by none other than Atlas, who you only briefly met on the previous day.
I'm very tempted to have. Are y'all familiar with that one episode of Craig of the Creek where Craig shows up to the arcade and introduces himself in the most horrendous way and immediately gets roasted.
I think that would be hilarious.
That's about how Atlas approaches Valentina. Real big. Atlas doesn't have a lot of like close friends. Yeah, so he's just all like, "Fare thee well, madame."
Ah, Atlas, how are you?
I'm doing all right. You see, he's stepping up to keep the shoes dry.
Am I next to Valentina?
Yeah, you're kind of arriving roughly at this time.
Bro, why did you say it like that?
Huh? What do you mean?
You're
I kinda look at
goofy.
you.
You're a cartoon character.
I don't know how to take that, so I just kind of stand there.
And he kind of slapped back and he goes, I'm just playing with the owl.
See you again, man.
The moment you slap my back, the shoes deactivate and I fall in the mud.
And I pick him up and I'm like, no, okay, calm down. And I turn around to him like, all right, chill out. And I pick him up and just kind of square him up, like just making sure he's like stable and like brushing him
I
off.
stand up, but I'm absolutely mortified.
Yeah, Atlas, you actually hear a bit of chuckling behind you from John Rear and his crew. You think they found that amusing?
I kind of just I turn back and I give them this like very steely like look, like glare.
Make a provoke roll for me.
Oh. Shit.
Can someone roll for me?
Yeah, we're gonna need someone to roll for you. Although you will get the choice to use your points. You do have points.
How many
so
points do I
use
have?
Influence. You have 3 currently. Nobody's used any of their points. But we'll need Mercury to roll. There we go. All right, you're starting off with a -1 provoke. You are not very intimidating. In fact, you currently are making yourself look like more of a target.
Yeah.
Would you like to take that roll, or is there any way that you can imagine to spend a fate point to invoke something that is currently present, either between the active session aspects or your own aspects, or potentially a newly defined stunt that might help you?
I can't see Valentina being intimidating at all. It is not. She's like got a little bunny face. She's not scary.
I mean, you do have the other aspect, I'm just a little guy.
Little guy.
Although, I guess you're not the little guy, because little guy is your stuffed animal. He laughs even harder, on purpose, when you kind of give them the stink eye. And then they kind of all do their, like, roughhousing, like, they're just kind of all jumping around in a circle and kind of, like, slamming their chests against each other. They're doing that kind
why
of thing.
did I know someone like this? I knew someone like this in real life.
These are those super annoying middle school kids who are like, when I grow up, I'm gonna be a star and an athlete.
Atlas looks mortified, but, you know, I compose myself, you know, because I'm a big, mature lad who's not gonna get mad, you know. My shoes didn't even really get that dirty. It's like maybe just a little bit of mud.
It's more like the rest of you got dirty. I imagine it's more like onto the ground where like it's like you got mud all over your outfit for the day.
Yeah.
Your hair's all messed up and wet. I mean, you were drenched anyways because of the rain.
Yeah.
You didn't hop out with an umbrella or anything.
Yeah. Because the only umbrella I have is the
gothic ones.
Super gothic, lacy one that I think is lame and I don't like taking places.
So you just left it at home.
Yeah. Fuck that umbrella.
I'm pretty sure Valentina would have an umbrella and just try to lean in. Like if I saw you suffering, I wouldn't just like let you suffer.
No. Atlas suffers on purpose. He does the emo hair flip. He's cool and strong. He doesn't need an umbrella. I'm good. I'm fine.
Suddenly, Atlas is an anime protagonist.
Was he ever not?
Good question. We'll find out next time on Arcana High Academia.